Marjorie Greene has been kicked off of her congressional committees. She is, however, still a congresswoman, still influential in the Republican Party. And she, in theory, when the Republicans inevitably take back control of the Senate due to the mismanagement that the Democrats are doing right now, could potentially be in charge of the US's stance on investigations and research into viruses, to understand them, to generate vaccines and all that. What does she believe about that sort of research? Well, she was on Steve Bannon's podcast, and here's what she had to say.
You don't buy the argument that say, hey, the gain of function is all because we got to take these viruses and we got to power them up to look for vaccines and to look for other solutions in case somehow they come up with this. You don't buy the logic of that. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't buy it because I don't believe in evolution. I don't believe in that type of so-called science. I don't believe in evolution. I believe in God. And there's these viruses were not making people sick until they created them and made them into weaponize these viruses to be able to attach to our cells and make us sick. This has caused so many people to die all over the world. This is a bioweapon. You can call it, people can call it whatever they can for research and to create vaccinations, but there's no need for a vaccine if the virus doesn't make the human population sick to begin with.
Bridget, thoughts?
I just don't even know how to respond to that. I mean, like what she's saying is so wrong, so anti-science. I mean, it's embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed for her constituents. It's difficult to respond to someone who just speaks in nonsense, and it's unfathomable. It's difficult for me to fathom that we've given someone like this a platform. It's just nonsense.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna try. So, first of all, to interpret what she's saying, part of it is you and I don't consume the same high grade misinformation that she does. So there's a lot of assumptions in what she said. She calls it a bioweapon. So she is so far beyond just the, hey, is it possible that some lab investigating vaccines for the coronavirus might have allowed it to slip out and that's how it started? That's a conversation that's going on. She's beyond that. That is, this was purposefully weaponized. It's not an accident. It is a weapon, a bioweapon that the Chinese apparently released into their own population so that someday it could hit the US. So that's there. That said, one part of this, Bridget, that I kind of like is when she said, I don't believe in evolution. And it might seem weird for me to say that I like that, but isn't that just kind of like comforting old school Republicanism? Like just not believing in science. Like it's bad, but it's better than I believe Satanists are secretly eating all of America's children. Like, yeah, no, most Republicans back in the day just didn't believe in evolution and probably don't now, but yeah, just not believing in evolution. That's like just opposing same-sex marriage. It's like, oh, I get that GOP, that hateful anti-science GOP. It's like a throwback to the 90s.
Yeah, it's almost kind of quaint.
A little, yeah, in a weird way. Now that said, there are other parts of this. So first of all, yeah, if you don't believe in evolution, then you're probably not going to understand quite a bit about viruses, germs, how they're researched, how vaccines are produced. Like a lot of that is unfortunately going to be beyond your grasp. I would also throw out though that the reason they were looking into vaccines for the coronavirus was the fear that at some point it would infect people. And first of all, other coronaviruses have affected people. So the statement that just it didn't until they weaponized it is just 100% false. But for particular strains of coronavirus, they were trying to figure out, will we have a protection against this? So look, I understand all of that is beyond her. It's beyond Steve Bannon. He didn't have her on to talk about this, but I don't know. I feel like people need to understand a little bit about that to understand what might need to be done and all of that. Anyway, yeah. Any thoughts about that?
Well, I just want to say one thing, which is that this is really the problem with things like mis and disinformation. So I'm no scientist, so I don't really know, but I think it's fair to ask the question and do some investigating about where any kind of virus comes from. But when people like Marjorie Taylor Greene just run on nonsense, completely take it to the extreme and say like, well, I believe this was a bioweapon and blah, blah, blah. we're not able to have a measured conversation about what actually happened. It's like picking up the football and running with it. And so I really think that when people spread this kind of nonsense, the conversation that we're not having is like, well, is this worth investigating? What do experts say? What is actually going on? We're not able to have that conversation because we're too busy talking about the kind of nonsense and anti-science mumbo jumbo that people like Marjorie Taylor Greene are spewing. And so I would just say that it takes up so much room in the conversation that we're not even able to have legitimate conversations about what's going on.
Sure, let me give you one potential silver lining that is not going to be here, but in theory could be here, which is if you're going to have the idea that this was an intentional release of a genetically engineered bioweapon by the Chinese. If millions of Americans are gonna believe that, then one side effect you'd hope we at least get is, so let's take it seriously. If it's this super weapon that the commies released on us, let's wear masks, let's socially distance, let's get vaccinated. But we don't even get that. She spent every minute up until saying it was a Chinese bioweapon, saying it's made up, it's not actually killing that many people, you don't actually have to change your behavior, and any efforts to stop it from spreading as much as possible is some sort of fascist plot against good conservative Americans. I would have at least liked to have gotten that silver lining.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.